Hi everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Blair and today's video is another Shop My Stash video. I'm going to take you over to my vanity and we're going to pick out some makeup to use together, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like it, make sure to give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe before you leave. Let's go ahead and get into this Shop My Stash. Alright, let's pick out some makeup. First, I'll do a bronzer and a blush. Maybe my Nars Laguna bronzer. This used to be my absolute everything. I just wanted to use this all the time. So I think I might use this one. And then I think I might actually use a blush I have in my everyday makeup drawer. Ooh, no, you know what I want to use? I want to use this. I haven't used this in a video, but this is one of the Beuaty, what is this called? Heartbeat Cheek Color. It's a blush. It's in the shade Hustle. Yeah, it's really pretty. It's a nude. It has a little bit of a shimmer to it. But I think I might want to use that one. Alright. Concealer. Let's see. Why is concealer always the one thing that I have the hardest time choosing? Maybe this. I haven't used this in a little while, the Forever Skin Correct concealer from Dior. I might also use a concealer from my everyday makeup drawer as well. And then for corrector, I think I'm going to use my Bobbi Brown because I'm really trying to get through that one. That's in my everyday drawer, so I'm going to get that in a second. Okay, foundation. What should I use? Maybe not one of those. Oh, I could use my Bite foundation. I haven't used this in a little while. Or I could use this. This is my Bobbi Brown Stick Foundation. Actually, I might use this. I'm kind of in the mood to use this. Okay, and then let's see what else we have. For primer, I'm probably going to use my Rare Beauty primer or one of the ones I have in my everyday drawer. So I'll leave primer for now. In terms of a powder, I might use my Milk powder. This one I got recently actually in or at TJ Maxx. I might use this or I might use my Charlotte Tilbury that's in my everyday drawer. For the brows, probably going to use what's in my everyday drawer, my Brow Wiz from Anastasia and my e.l.f. Wow Brow. Ooh, I haven't used this in a while. Let's use this, the Chanel Le Volume de Chanel mascara. I want to use that one. And then for a lip liner, maybe this, the Marc Jacobs Cream and Sugar liner. Or maybe, let's see, maybe this. This is the Pat McGrath. I think it's called the Permagel. Yeah, the Permagel Ultra Lip Liner. I'll take both of these. Lip product. Oh, you know what I kind of want to use that I won't say I never use it, but I haven't used it in a long time. I kind of want to use this. I don't use this a ton, as you can see, but I really like this, especially on top of a lipstick. This is KKW by Charlotte Tilbury. It's a really light nude, so I think I might take that. Why is picking a lip product so difficult sometimes? I think it's because I have too many choices. Definitely take my Nars eyeshadow base with me. This is always, that's just a non-negotiable product for me. For a palette, oh, you know what I want to use? Something that I have not used in the longest time. Really want to use this. This is my Urban Decay Naked 2 Basics palette. I used to use this all the time. I haven't used it in a little while, but this is such a good palette. It's just a great one to have in your collection, so I kind of want to use this today. All right, let me grab my products here and we will get started. So I have already done my skincare and I have sunscreen on and everything, so we're just gonna go right into primer. And I'm using the one I have in my everyday makeup drawer, which is the Rare Beauty Skin Illuminating Primer. I want that golden glow, or not golden, but I want an illuminated look today. So I'm taking one pump of that on my hands and mainly focusing that on the high points of my face. One pump of this goes a long way. You definitely don't want to overdo this because it is pretty glowy. There is no scent though, which I personally really love about this product because I am definitely not a fan of scent in makeup or skincare if possible. See how pretty it makes your skin look though? It's very radiant, but not oily or anything, just very hydrated and healthy looking. Okay, moving on to Corrector. I'm going to use my Bobbi Brown Corrector in the shade Bisque today. Looking better already. I'll tell you what, guys, this stuff, I know I say it in every single video, but it's just game changing if you have circles under your eyes like I do. You would be amazed if you've never tried a corrector before, what a corrector can do for you. I'm gonna lightly take my ring finger and make sure this is nice and blended. For foundation today, I wanted to use my Bobbi Brown Stick Foundation. I feel like this is one of those products that is very well known, but you don't see that many people talking about it here on YouTube at least. So I have the shade Warm Sand 2.5, and for this, I actually haven't used this in a really long time. I'm gonna take 2 stripes down my cheek, a little bit on my forehead, and my nose, and bring some down my neck. And to blend this in, I'm going to use, again from Bobbi Brown, the Full Coverage Face Brush. This is such a good brush, you guys. If you like more of a kabuki style brush, you would love this. This is like a kabuki with a longer handle. It's typically, you know, kabuki brushes don't have, or not always, but a lot of times they have really short handles. This brush in particular with this foundation works really, really well. Then make sure to blend it down my neck. I would say this is about a medium coverage foundation. I definitely don't think you get full coverage from this stick, but I think it's a good amount for most people. And that's all I'm gonna do for foundation. I really like this. I don't know why I don't use this very much because it's really nice and pretty, very natural and skin-like. I love the finish of it. It's just a very natural, not dewy, not matte, right in between kind of finish. Moving on to concealer. I'm going to use this one first. This is the Dior Forever Skin Correct concealer in the shade 1.5N. And to blend this in, I'm going to use my Smashbox blurring concealer brush. Forgot I haven't used this concealer in a while, but a little definitely goes quite a long way. It kind of reminds me of a more hydrating version of Shape Tape from Tarte. It's that same coverage level, but it's a little bit creamier and not as drying under your eyes. I'm just gonna take what's left and bring it onto my eyelids. And then I'm going to take my damp e.l.f. sponge and just kind of lightly go over everything. For a little bit of powder, I'm going to use my Milk Blur and Set powder in Translucent Light. This is brand new to my collection, so I'm still trying to get a feel for it. But the few times that I have used it, I've really enjoyed it. So I'm taking some on this little BH Cosmetics brush, and I'm gonna set my concealer. Don't have anywhere to go today. It's a Sunday, but I have a ton of stuff to do around the house. I actually need to pack because my husband and I are going to Disney World this week, actually, on Wednesday, and I have not started packing. So there's the powder. Looks really nice. This powder is currently at TJ Maxx when I'm filming this video, so if you are interested in this, check your local TJ Maxx because that's where I got mine. For some bronzer, I'm going to use my Nars Laguna bronzer, one of my all-time favorites. Although I will say one thing about this bronzer, I will never forget this. So this was my first high-end bronzer, not this exact Laguna, but Nars Laguna was the first high-end bronzer that I ever bought, and I remember I took it with me on, I don't remember where I went. It was on vacation somewhere, and when I got there, I opened up my makeup bag and it was shattered, and I was so upset because it was just like my most prized, not my most prized possession, but I was just so proud of it when I first got it because I'd never had a high-end bronzer before. And I remember opening up my makeup bag and I saw that it was broken. It was a sad day. Sad, sad day. And I will say, this will tell you how much I like it. I went right out and bought a new one when it was broken. And I left the broken one in my travel makeup bag so that I wouldn't have to worry about breaking it again because it was already broken. That's how much I like this product. It's just the prettiest, for my skin tone at least, natural looking bronzer. I love it. For blush, I want to use this. This is from Beuaty. I actually never tried anything from this brand. It's a really pretty color though. The color is called Hustle. This is the Heartbeat Cheek color from Beuaty. I got this online at Ulta one day because it was like 50% off for one day, and these blushes got really good reviews. So I ordered one so I could try it, and I just really love the color. This color does have a little bit of shimmer to it, but it's not a ton of shimmer. Ooh, that is pretty. Take some on my nose. Ooh, that's so pretty. This is almost kind of a sunburned flush, but it's very, very pretty. I like it. Okay, for the brows, I'm going to go in with my combination pretty much in every video right now, which is the Anastasia Brow Wiz. I'm trying to use this one up, and my e.l.f. Wow Brow. I'm actually waiting on a package to be delivered. I really wanted it to be delivered earlier today so I could film this video, but I recently ordered I forget the exact name, but it's the new L'Oreal tinted moisturizer. I think it's called something Paradise, like water cream paradise. I can't remember. That's definitely not the right name. But I ordered it from Ulta like a week ago, and it's supposed to come today. I still have not seen it, and it's $140, but I really wanted to do a video on it because I think it just came out, and I'm really curious about it, so I didn't really want to do a video on it though. That's a very intriguing product. So now that we have the brows done, I'm going to take a little bit of my Nars Smudge Proof eyeshadow base. I don't see the brush I want, so I'm just going to take my sponge and blend this in. For the eyes today, I was thinking about maybe changing this, but I think I'm going to still use it. I'm going to take my Urban Decay Naked 2 Basics palette. This is one of the palettes I've had the longest. I used to use this all the time. It's definitely a cool tone palette, but it's just a really great everyday makeup palette to have in your collection. So I am first going to go in with the lightest shade in the palette, which is called Skimp, and I'm going to put this all over my eye. All the way up to my brow bone. Next, I'm going to take the shade next to it, which is called Stark. It's also a very light shade, just not as light as Skimp. For this color, I'm going to take it in my crease, and it's not much darker than the first shade we used, so you're not going to see it a ton, but it's just going to give a little bit of definition to the crease area, very, very slightly. So once I have that color laid down, I'm going to go into the next shade, which is called Frisk. It's a very, very light gray right here. And I'm going to use the same brush I just used. And this shade, I'm going to focus right here, kind of at the very top of where I can feel my eyelid or the crease, the actual crease of my eye. And this is just going to go right here. I'm not going to pull it up or down. I'm just basically using this to carve out and give my crease definition from the rest of my eye because I don't have a lot of crease space, or lid space, I mean. Same thing on this eye. I'm barely touching my eye, like I'm using the lightest pressure and just going back and forth. I'm using the very tip of this brush. This is a Marc Jacobs crease brush, and I'm just using the very tip of it. What do I want to use? I think I'm just going to keep using the same brush. You could really use this brush for your whole eyeshadow look. That's how versatile this is. This is, again, the Marc Jacobs crease brush, and I actually got this at TJ Maxx for $6.99. Check your TJ Maxx and your Marshalls for these brushes. They're so nice. Okay, now I'm going to mix a little bit of the next two shades together. Okay, so one is called Cover and the other is Primal. One is a little bit warmer of a brown and this one is a little more of a cool tone brown. So I'm going to mix a little bit of both of those shades on my same brush again. I'm going to take those just barely in my outer V here. Again, just using the very, very tip of the brush. I don't know why I haven't used this little palette in quite a while. It's just such a nice everyday palette to have in your collection. Taking a little bit more, and again, lightly adding this to my outer V. And then what I want to do is take a big fluffy crease brush, and I'm going to go back into the second shade that we used, which was Stark, and I'm going to take a good bit of that shade on this big crease brush, and again, blend and blend and blend. Then the last thing I want to do is take the darkest shade in the palette, which is called Undone. I'm going to take this with this brush. I use this in so many videos. It's my BK Beauty 208 brush. It's just a really tiny baby angled brush. I am going to get some of that color on my brush, and I'm going to line my top lash line. I'm not going all the way in, just like 3/4 of the way in on my eye. And I'm going to try to do a little tiny baby wing. I'm just making a tiny little flick there, and then I'm going to fill in this little triangle. And this is the easiest way I have found to do a winged liner. I just feel like a shadow in a darker color, this little brush, and that's all you need. And it's just a lot easier than trying to use a winged liner or a liquid liner. This is just so much easier. I'm thinking that's about as good as the wings are gonna get. They're not exactly identical, but that's okay. And now I'm gonna go back into the palette and I'm going to take a little bit of, let's see, Frisk and Cover, and I'm gonna put this on my bottom lash line. One last thing I'm gonna do is take a little bit of the first shade, Skimp, taking just a little bit of that and popping it right in the center of my eyelid, just to brighten it up again, just a little bit, and that's it. Just love this palette. You can see this is just a really quick, pretty easy, other than the wing, which is never easy for me, but everything else is relatively easy. If you're someone that's just starting out with eyeshadow and you want something super basic, this is a really good one, and very fitting name, the Naked Basics 2 from Urban Decay. I love it. Now I'm going to curl my lashes. And today I'm actually going to use this. I haven't used this in a little while. This is the Marc Jacobs Mascara Primer. And I'm going to take some of this. I kind of go through phases with this stuff. Sometimes I'm like very, very into primers for my mascara, and then other times I'm not. It just kind of depends. Okay, and for mascara, I'm going to use my Chanel Volume de Chanel mascara. One thing I will say about this mascara is it is very expensive, but for whatever reason, I have noticed that a tube of this lasts a very long time. Like, I know for a fact this tube has been open for, I would say probably 6 months, because I don't use it that often, and it is not clumpy looking or anything. It's crazy, but I've had a tube of this before in the past, and I remember I noticed that same thing. I could use it for a really long time. I'm going to take a little on my lower lashes too. Last but not least, for the lips, what do I want to do on the lips? I think I'm going to take this Pat McGrath Permagel lip liner in the shade Done Undone. I'm going to line my lips. Not good at applying lip liner and speaking at the same time. And then I think I might take a little bit of Marc Jacobs lip liner in Cream and Sugar. Kind of filling in my lips with that one. And then on top of that, I am going to take Charlotte Tilbury Kissing lipstick in the shade KKW. And for a lip gloss on top, I'm going to take a little Persona Honey lip gloss. And then, last but not least, for setting spray, I'm going to take my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. Alright, this is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you like the Shop My Stash videos. I really enjoy filming these. I think they're so fun to just go through your makeup and use things that you have. I just love doing that. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you like these videos in the comments and I'll continue doing them. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Also, make sure you're subscribed before you leave today. I post new videos every Wednesday and Friday. Also, make sure you're following me over on Instagram at the same username, simply.blair. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Remember, simply be you. Bye.